podcast. Today I am joined by Gina. Gina, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Grant. How are you?
Doing great. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be off work, getting to chill and have a fun conversation.
I love that.
So Gina is based here in Illinois and she works for 1906. She's actually a field marketing manager for them. Tell us a little bit about 1906 and then your role with them, Gina.
Yeah, so 1906 is a Denver-based company that produces fast-acting plant-based drops or pills that you swallow. The additional plants allow you to really make the most of the products that we are sharing. We have 6 different varieties: Go for energy, Genius for focus, Bliss for happiness, Love for arousal, Chill for relaxation, and then Midnight for sleep. And yeah, being a field marketing manager means I get to travel from the tip of Illinois to the tip of Illinois.
That sounds challenging, but it sounds cool at the same time. What are some unique challenges that you know of, some other marketing managers in other states that you face like separately here in Illinois?
I mean, the breadth of Illinois is a challenge. It from top to bottom, it's like 7 hours and 1 to 2 gas stops. If you're trying to make it quickly.
Mhm,
So the vastness of Illinois is kind of a lot.
mhm.
And then I would say the way that our market is structured in terms of kind of an oligopoly can be a bit of a challenge when you're looking for shelf space or engagement.
Yeah,
But nothing that can't be handled with some kindness and intention. So nothing too crazy.
for sure. And before the interview started or conversation started, sorry, you were saying that you didn't get your start with 1906. How did you get your personal start in cannabis? How did you kind of get your foot into the door?
Okay. So I was working for a company that I really loved, and it went out of business. And my uncle actually works for Lalo in California, which is a family owned business that handles packaging. And he works in their cannabis sector. So he invited me out to Oakland for an event called New West Summit, where I really fell in love with what it could mean to be in cannabis. I met some heavy hitters like Ophelia Chong and Nina Parks and Mara Gordon. And here in Illinois, Mara was participating in a panel and invited me to come and check it out. And I happened to run into a few members of Illinois Women in Cannabis, and I introduced myself to them. Forgive my dog. He's trying to
It's
get the cat
okay.
who's hiding under the table.
No
Um,
worries.
but I met 2 board members from Illinois Women in Cannabis at this conference and shared with them what my experience had been and offered myself as a resource to support their administrative needs. And after an interview or two, Dina Rollman, our at the time president, invited me to a part-time position, and I got started as an administrative assistant for Illinois Women in Cannabis, and kind of had a like really I worked as a patient care specialist because I was part-time with Illinois Women in Cannabis at the time greenhouse dispensaries, and then got a full-time role working as an office manager for an MSO,
Okay.
and then worked as an outreach leader for a dispensary chain, and was able to link up with Peter Barsoom, 1906's CEO, and landed the field marketing manager role. So
Oh wow. So you've definitely worked a lot of different roles so far in the cannabis space.
yeah, it's like the story of like from the bottom to somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And this far in this cannabis journey, what's been a struggle and what's something that you actually really love about it? Because there's always going to be both sides of that spectrum, in my opinion, because especially working with cannabis, because there's some amazing things, but there's some stuff you get into the market, you're like, wait a second.
You're like, is this really what I signed up for? Because that's
Right.
not how it was advertised at all.
At all.
So the things that are difficult is just the weight of what it means to be in cannabis. You're kind of trudging new landscape. In 2017, was not the same as it is now. Like I didn't speak with family members. It was like, I put a target on myself essentially. And while things have certainly changed, there are still challenges. Like you can get burnt out, and knowing how to manage kind of your how to manage the philanthropic arm of what you want to do, and like philanthropic in the sense of or advocacy. Philanthropic is not the right word. The advocacy portion of things, like really making sure that you're being vocal and supporting the industry and what it means to be progressive in this industry, and taking time to just like take a step back and be like, someone else can carry on for a moment, and I'm just gonna take it easy for a second because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'm a woman, I'm Hispanic, or rather a Latina. It can be a lot to be, a Black or brown person in cannabis and be in cannabis. It's like constantly on, and it can be heavy sometimes,
For sure. For sure. And what pushes you through those heavy times? Like what's the light that keeps you going when the times get like really rough?
uh this is my light.
Absolutely.
um
Absolutely.
no, but really, like, yes, absolutely, that's it, but also like the people and the community, and like the effort of knowing that you're making progress with every, you're chipping away at the wall in front of you, and having people with you that are like-minded and understand the benefit of continuing to do hard work, and surrounding yourself with people that when you're like, all right, I'm ready to give up, I throw in the towel, that are like, no, you've got another punch in you. No, you've got this. Keep going. You don't want to give up yet. Keep going. So having people in your circle, in your corner, that like get it and get it and get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as someone who's been in cannabis for a little while now, how would you suggest someone who's just trying to get a foot in the door, based off of maybe some things that you struggled with or some things that you had some success with? What are some good leeways for people to try to find a profession in cannabis, would you say?
Join Illinois Women in Cannabis.
Okay.
It
Tell us
it
more about that as well, because I'm interested in just hearing about what you guys do and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So Illinois Women in Cannabis is a not-for-profit that, or IWC, that aims to empower women into leadership roles through networking, mentorship, and education. This In 2020, we were able to hire Amor Montes de Oca, who is our executive director. She has really kind of expanded our breadth for IWC, and really, it's a wonderful network of women and business professionals, but everyone is welcome. If you go to an IWC event like the one we had in the fall, you will see every type of person there, from the individual still creating their own edibles at home to the venture capitalists that are interested in funding a business.
Mhm.
Really brings a whole group of wonderful people together to do a lot of really good things. And tomorrow, which is Thursday, the 8th of December, we'll have a co-working day at 2112. And it's the kickoff of our mentorship program for this cohort, which is very exciting. So lots of things that IWC does to kind of uplift women and individuals interested in joining this industry.
For sure. And where can people find more information about this? Because I know I'm sure you guys are on social media. I think I've seen it on social media. So where can people find more information?
Yeah, we were really kind of great when we started out and have just a ton of different handles. So bear with me. But
Okay.
uh, our website is ilwomenancannabis.org. Our Instagram handle is Illinois_women_cannabis. I think that's all of it. But really, our website's a good way to kind of connect
Yeah,
with everything. We're on LinkedIn. You can even drop me a DM on any of the platforms, and I'm happy to connect and share. Like, all boats rise, you know?
absolutely. I'm just curious, what's your personal favorite like cannabis social media networking like forum? Like what's your go-to if you want some good information or if you want to laugh, like where would you go to?
I mean, I am 30 something, so I exist currently on Instagram.
Okay.
But, I think that there's a new network that just came up that I can't get my phone to open up because I just don't give energy to things that I don't have time for.
I
You know which one I'm
understand.
talking about.
Absolutely, yeah.
I
I
need to
don't know
check
which
that
one
one
you're
out.
talking about though.
Oh, what's it called? Somebody's I don't know what
It's
it's
like a it's
called.
like a cannabis one?
Yeah, I think Burner from Cookies is the one who created it. It's maybe called like Be
Oh,
Social or
I
something
saw that
like
they
that.
created something, but I don't know what the name of it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm behind also.
Yeah. Works.
But what is okay, that's what I wanted to ask about next. We talked about like consumption. What's your favorite way of smoking? I see you have glass there. What's your favorite way of consuming cannabis in general?
Like whatever's handy. I am a big edibles person because it's easy and I can keep it like going in my system all the time. But you know, there might be a one hitter in my car, there might be this piece of glass on my desk. Like I think RSO is the most versatile product that exists. It's a little bit harder to get in Illinois now in the way that maybe I like preferred it in the past, but um I as a human am not very picky. I'm too easy.
Gotcha. Got you. And I know you go to a lot of events, right? Like a lot of the live in-person events that come into Illinois. And do you travel outside of Illinois and go to events as well?
You know, I'm fortunate that 1906 is expanding and they're open to letting their team members kind of experience the different markets and educate and onboard our new team members. So I've gotten to travel with the support of 1906. As far as events go, I attend a lot of networking type things and some of the wonderful events that go on, like some of the high minded events, the brunch of stoner events, the industry events from here to there. I'm
Mhm.
lucky also that 1906 gets to do some really unique and fun partnerships. We just did an event with Scratch Goods in the West Loop that was so much fun, and we've done a few different fun things that I've been fortunate to participate in.
And where this is from my own personal wondering too, like where do people find out about these events? Like, is this all on Instagram? Is this all on a website? Like how, because I feel like there's so many events that I find out about as they're going on or like the day after or something like that.
You have to sign up for Madeline's event recap. She posts it weekly. I have one of the cards on my desk, but aha, this is how you find out about all of them. Made content, Chicagoland's cannabis events newsletter.
Okay,
Hit that QR code.
I'm gonna try.
Heck yeah. Don't fail us now,
Okay,
internet.
cool.
Did it do it?
Yeah, I did it.
Hell yeah. There you go.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna sign up for this for sure.
Then you don't have to find out later. You can find out right away.
Absolutely, because I've been trying to. It's hard to know because like there's LinkedIn and then there's Instagram and then some people going on Twitter. It's like you don't know where to go to find out where to do stuff. But this is where I'm
I
gonna go from now
I
on.
currently have a bone to pick with Twitter, so there's that.
What happened with Twitter?
Well, it's owned by a weird guy currently.
I see. I see. What is kind of some? Do you have any long-term goals in cannabis for yourself? As you grow and as you expand in the cannabis market, what do you see yourself growing into in the future?
I always want to uplift and support people who are doing things well, doing things with the best intentions, and showing up for themselves and their communities every day.
Mhm.
And so I hope and my goal is to not stop doing that and know that doing that will lead me to wherever it is I'm supposed to be.
Jeez, that's a good answer. Okay. Okay, so because I know a lot of people, it would be like position based and stuff like that, but I like the fact that you're saying like regardless of the position or the company or whatever, that's like the stance that you want to be like approaching the cannabis industry from.
Yeah, I think that I was just having this conversation earlier. We actually don't know what this industry is going to look like in 5 years, in how, like tomorrow, even. And when you get kind of tied to what the industry will do or be for you, you really lose, I think, the what it means to be connected to cannabis. And if you don't tie your you know if you don't tie yourself to what work is, you are able to be so much more fulfilled. So um being in the industry will never leave me because I'll always be rooting here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely understand. And when you're not dealing with cannabis issues, you're not in happy about cannabis or whatever. What do you like to do outside of the cannabis space
I
when you get
love
some free
spending time
time?
with my family, and my friends, and uh being outside or inside or uh there I mean I just I just like to be. I love
Yeah,
to sleep. I like to eat. I like to just be chill and go with the flow.
absolutely, absolutely. And as Illinois, I believe, is opening up a lot of new licenses and stuff like that, I'm sure that would expand your positions as well. Because was it's like 70 dispensaries or something like that that's supposed to be opening up this upcoming year, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I had a really great I've been fortunate to get to spend some time in some of the newer dispensaries that have already opened. There's three that have already opened their doors in Illinois. It's nice to kind of see that different flavor and some of
I
the
just saw one
similarities.
open next to
Yeah.
me in Wicker Park. One opened.
Yeah. Ivy Hall is right there in Wicker Park.
Ivy Hall, yeah.
Governor Pritzker was just there this afternoon, which is so
Okay,
crazy to me.
it's like a 6 minute walk from me. Yeah, it's right there.
Have you been there yet?
I haven't. I passed by. Actually, I saw their flyer in a burger spot, like right down the street from it. And then I just picked up the flyer and then I walked by, but I haven't been in yet. I saw they have some brands. They have like a Tyson brand in there. They have a few brands I want to try out. So I'll probably take a visit.
1906 is in there, so stop by, pick you up some
Absolutely.
genius.
Absolutely. And as more of these stores open, even because I've only been living in Illinois now, I'm going on my second year living here. So even in that time in the dispensaries, I've watched as just a few more open, the price is going down too, in
Yeah,
terms of like flour and stuff like that. When I was here, first got here, there was no even like $48 eighths. Now it's starting to like creep down, and that's cool to see because I definitely want to go to the dispensary more and more.
totally. And even with 1906, we for quite some time weren't running promotions. It wasn't really in our budget, and it wasn't a possibility for us. And in the last like 3 months, really, it's been more of kind of how we are able to participate in remaining competitive in this space. So you're totally right. Like the more opportunity is, the more opportunity there is.
For sure, for sure, and it's cool to see because even just speaking about Ivy Hall again, we don't have a lot of dispensaries that are kind of just like casually set there. I don't know if that makes sense, but a lot of them are like so distinctly set apart. I guess because of zoning laws and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But my girlfriend and I actually like took a double take just walking by a dispensary like casually like that. Illinois hadn't got to that point yet. You know, you've been to
Totally.
other states where everywhere you walk, it's not a big thing that you're passing a dispensary. Here, you have to go out of your way to find
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. And now that's going to become less and less as some of these locations open, because you're totally right. There's one that just opened in Round Lake Beach, and like where they're open is definitely a spot that you're like, there's a dispensary right here. It's like right in front of a grocery store, and you're like,
Yeah,
wow, like here we are, you know?
right. The future's here.
Totally.
And as it opens up too, I'm excited. I think to see. I've said in the past, I think places will have a little bit of distinct flavors as like in different strains as we go around the country and as more people are allowed to cultivate. And I'm excited to see what specialty at a high level each of these legal markets is going to be able to develop over time.
Totally. And especially as the craft grow licenses come online, I'm really looking forward to like share with us your flavor and like share with us your differences and like blow
Yeah.
us away with what makes you different. I truly cannot wait. And yeah, it will be a time for sure.
Absolutely. And getting into 1906 moving forward, is there anything that you want to talk about as 1906? Any events or any new products or anything like that that you could share or can share with
Yeah,
us?
so in Illinois, we're coming out with Boost, which is a 5 milligram just THC edible that you can add on to your 1906 experience. So if you really wish that Genius had a little more THC, you can kind of adjust for that, which is really great.
Mm,
And we're hoping to work with some of these newer dispensaries and potentially create visual pieces that set them apart a little bit and look a little more elevated and speak to their flavor like you're saying, and you know that they're 1906 and you're like, wow, this fits into this dispensary so perfectly.
I see. So as that culture grows around Illinois, kind of like growing and morphing with that culture to where it's kind of where people are so used to seeing it. So it's like casual that it's there, but at the same time, like it's like recognizable, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's an exciting job because you're in the cannabis space at the perfect time for that to happen because it hasn't really happened in that many even states yet. And Illinois being one of the bigger states in the US, there's going to be a lot of possibility as it starts to expand.
Totally. And like, to people who are maybe like interested in getting in and like, oh my gosh, I'm missing it, or I'm not where I want to be, like timing is absolutely divine. So you will show up in the space when you're supposed to, and nothing that is like really your opportunity is going to escape you. So it is very exciting, the evolution that's taking place in this industry.
For sure. And I always remind people that ask me about work in the industry to think about the skills that you have outside of the industry. When I was in the illegal state, because I used to live in Texas, so a lot of people's fantasy about working in the cannabis industry is like owning a dispensary or something like that. And I'm like, think about whether retail sales and retail management is like your strong suit before you get into that, because there are so many different facets that you can work with in the cannabis industry, and you shouldn't just force yourself into flower or into dispensary or something like that just because that's what you think of when you think of like the weed industry.
No, totally. And I was having a discussion with one of the Nature's Grace leadership members,
Mhm.
and they were talking about how, for some individuals that get a role in cannabis and they start in retail, like if retail is your worst nightmare, do not start there, because being a team member in a cannabis dispensary is different from retail, but is retail. And
Yes, retail,
so,
yeah.
you know, it's like, think about what your worst case scenario is and make sure that whatever it is that you're applying for is not that. If you're an extrovert, don't take a remote job just because it's in cannabis. If you're an
Right.
introvert, maybe don't take a dispensary job, even though it's a role in cannabis. Like, the right thing will be a much more enjoyable experience for you if you give it the time and the thought that it deserves.
Absolutely, because it can just ruin you or scare you away or burn you out from wanting to exist in the cannabis space at all, simply because you kind of, I don't know, just went with what you saw, you thought the possibilities were. And as you know, as this expands, there's so many, and as the corporate ladder expands in the cannabis space, there's so many positions that are starting to open up that are just like other corporations.
Mhm.
um, as people make more money, like you were saying, like as more money is filled into the market, there's going to be more opportunity for other people to make money.
Totally. You're absolutely right. And like, just a matter of knowing what you want or even what you don't and moving accordingly.
Hmm. Absolutely. And also, in my opinion, having a little humility sometimes, because sometimes a cannabis job might pay a little bit less than like that corporate space that's already been established job. But you kind of have to realize, like, all right, but this is what I want to do, or this isn't what I want to do. I want to make more money in another space, which I can understand as well. But I think that's also needs to be kept in mind for some people when they're getting into the cannabis space.
Totally. This it's all over. Like, cash flow is an issue in cannabis. These craft grow licenses aren't coming online due to cash flow, and the dispensaries that exist, even still, some of them have issues with cash flow. It is helpful to be mindful of uh, where your goals are and what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to like push forward with, and making sure that you don't like give up on your dreams or your goals, but you also don't undercut your value.
I couldn't have said it better. I completely agree. Well, this has been a fun conversation. Where can people get in contact with you? I know you said you're on LinkedIn and Instagram, correct? If people want to kind of pick your brain, or if they want to learn more about 1906.
Yeah, the easiest way to find me is just to search my first and last name on any of the things you're looking on. I kept it easy. Just Gina Gault wherever you're at.
Absolutely. Well, Gina, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me in this episode. This has been cool. I've learned some stuff. It's been fun.
Grant, thank you so much. And next time I'm in Wicker Park, I will shoot you a note and we can grab like a joint and a block.
Absolutely, absolutely. That sounds fun.
Awesome.
Well, guys, I appreciate you joining us for another episode of the Midwest Cannabis Podcast, and I'll see you guys next time.